Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. Make sure everyone's here. Yeah, good. Thank you. So we'll be spending the next hour and a half together. We do this every Saturday, and we alternate between two practices. These are have the tradition in the North Indian yogic practice. And today we're going to be doing exercise that we just simply call YJJ, Yi Jin Jing. And you can look that up. Yi Jin Jing, easier translation would be the renewal of the tendon, right? So that's one translation, but it's actually renewal of the channel that passes the energy. So the tendon, the word tendon in Chinese can be translated into tendon or connected tissue. All right. So before we do this exercise, which is a very traditional, original Qigong exercise, we're going to be doing some massage and different modality to basically clear the energy channel in the body. And then when we finish with the YJJ, then we're going to be doing some meditation, and mainly meditation on the our breath, and more specifically meditate on our energy. Okay, so we're going to start from the fingertips. We're going to massage the fingertips, get all the way to the toes. We're going to work from the top of the head all the way to the bottom of the feet. And so the first thing we're going to do is just simple massage. So I want you to kind of focus on your body. And before we do anything, let's learn to sit properly. So let's focus on our body, examine the body, and then I'll concentrate, anchor our mind on the lower part of our spine. And now let's imagine walking up the spine towards the top of the head. As we walk up, we want to stretch the joints, one joint at a time. Stretch the joint towards the top of the head, towards the ceiling, as if we're hanging the spine on the ceiling. Now we're going to lean back and then relax. Now we're going to focus on the shoulder and lift up a shoulder as high as we can, and then open that shoulder as far back as we can, and then relax the shoulder, relax it some more time. Now this particular exercise is actually very important. It's very important, something that I want you to do whenever you can remember, whether you sit, you stand, just kind of stretch the spine. And so there's a very famous scholar who actually passed away a week or two ago. And one of his big things is about this simple exercise about stretching and opening the shoulder. And he believes, and there's a lot of cultural background to this, that he believes that this is actually one exercise that we should do as we age. It really reduces the chance of having dementia. It's to improve the circulations up the spine to the top of the head. We kind of all know that, right? Because the spine is the central nervous system. And you can think about the brain, it's just an appendage to that, right? So that exercise is something that I would highly recommend. And you can combine the two by just focusing on the shoulder and just lift up the entire upper torso as far up as you can. And then now lean back. As you lean back, just open that shoulder, and then relax the shoulder, relax the upper torso, right? Okay, so now that we got a posture, right? Let's focus on the fingers. The fingers are what I call extremities. So these are the places that are the outermost of a body, whether they're fingers, the toes, the top of the head, the ears, and so forth. And this is the place where the energy exchange, right? Energy that's flowing out of the body, we call that yang. Energy that's coming back from the universe is the yin. Yang is the energetic part, and then the yin is the restorative part. So let's just focus now on our left hand. Focus on the tip of the fingers, and let's bring out our right thumb and just very gently massage the tip of the fingers. All right. So you notice that I don't just ask you to massage the fingertip. Further, I go through these whole procedures of how you should focus on the hand, focus on the fingers, and then focus on the sensation as you massage your fingertip. And all that is because we're actually doing meditation right now. It's what I call mindfulness in motion. You don't have to sit to meditate. Everything that we do is meditation. All right. All right, so now we're done with the fingertips, and let's work on the joints. So let's focus on one finger at a time, and then one joint at a time. Use our right thumb again, and just kind of wrap around the joints and kind of massage all the way around. And then when you finish with one joint, let it go, and now focus on the next one, okay? And again, massage all the way around. And then when you finish one finger, let it go, and now focus on the next finger, right? And all that is to remind you to just let go of the past, let go of the past, right? Let go of the past, and whatever happens, you learn from it, and then just let it go, right? It's just as simple as massaging your fingers. Remind yourself, oh, once I'm done with the joint, I'm letting it go. I'm focused on the next one. Once I'm done with the finger, I'm letting it go, and I'm focused on the next fingers. Now we're going to let go of the left hand, focus on the right hand, and again, using the left thumb and just kind of massage around. Now, as you massage, you're going to feel some relief, right? If you have arthritis and you feel some relief, it feels good. And so kind of focus on that, right? All right, so now we're done with the inside of the hand. Let's flip it around and work on the outside of the hand, the part of the hand that is facing the sun. And now we're going to start with the fingertips again. And this time we use the thumb and the index finger and put that on the corner of the fingernail and just kind of squeeze it a little bit. And one finger at a time. And now that we're done with the left hand, let's focus on the right hand. Okay. And then now let's work on the joints. Again, wrap around one joint at a time. So you might not notice that as I exercise with you the entire hour and a half, I don't stop talking, right? I just continue to talk, continue to kind of get you engaged, and I don't stop moving, but yet I'm constantly swallowing. You notice that? I'm constantly swallowing my saliva. And this is a good sign of health. And this is something that you should pay attention to. All right, so now we're done with the fingertips, we're done with the joints. Let's come back to the inside of a palm, use the thumb again, and just kind of rub the fingers from the bottom to the tip and in between the joints this time, right? Do that on the right side and just kind of massage the fingers. Now you might say, wow, we're spending a lot of time on the fingers. Well, actually, it's not just for the fingers. It's actually for the entire body, right? Remember I told you that the fingers are the extremities, right? And you might have a shoulder pain, and it turns out that working on the fingers can actually help you. Now, we're going to work on the back of the hand now. Right? Focus on the back of the hand. The back of the hand is the part that's facing the sun, and the energy is what we call the yang energy. That's the energetic part. And so a lot of times we feel weak, we feel cold, and all that is because we have a deficiency of the yang energy. Right? There are a couple of things you need to do. Decide. There are very simple things you can pay attention to. Can you sleep at night? Are you constipated? Do you have digestion problem? Well, think of it, just those simple three things. It turns out that many modern people have at least one, if not two, and sometimes all three. And that is scary, right? I sleep at night. I sleep very well. I don't wake up in the middle of the night, hardly ever. I don't have any digestion problem. You put as much food in front of me, I would just eat it. All right? And obviously no problem with constipation. So think about it. There are things you have to do during the day. If you don't do that well, there's a problem. There are things that you have to do at night, and if you don't do that well, there's a problem. So during the day is yang, during the night is yin. So if the things that you should do under the sun you don't do well, that's obviously a yang deficiency. So if you're constipated, if you have problem with digestions, like bloating and all that, well, that's what we call yang deficiency. But if you don't go to sleep, you don't sleep well, or you sleep, but the quality sucks. You wake up in the morning and it's like you haven't slept. Well, that's yin deficiency, right? So the point is that it's just not yang and yin, it's the balance of the two. So Let's work on the back of the hand. So there are a couple of energy points that are actually very simple, but they're very effective in improving your yang, right? Now, improving the yang ultimately could means that you're not so cold anymore. You're not so cold anymore, especially the bottom of your feet, right? When you go to sleep at night, boy, your feet are really cold. Well, yang deficiency, okay? All right, so very simple. So let's open our fingers. Let's take a thumb, use the edge of the thumb this time, and put it at the very bottom of the, like the web, right? Okay, just kind of massage that. Okay, and then on the other side, massage that. Now, hold up your fist, massage in between the knuckle. And then same thing on the other side. Now, the back of the hand, in between the bones, there's a channel, right? Just massage that. And then come back. Okay, now there's 3 energy points that will help you. One is what we call the triple warmer. It actually is like in between the index fingers and the middle fingers. You come down to the top of the wrist. You put your index fingers on the top of the wrist and you move your wrist, and all of a sudden you find a spot where the index finger sinks in. That's the cavity. And now you put your thumb on top of that. You push down. Now we do an acupressure. And you move around. Now we're doing massage, right? So this is one of the 3 yang meridian. There's another one along the thumb. So if you put your thumb right at the wrist and you move your wrist, all of a sudden you find a spot. So you just kind of push into that and then move it around. Same thing on the other side. On the small fingers, you come down on the wrist, move it around, and then all of a sudden the thumb sinks in there, and you just press down and massage. Same thing on the other side. Follow in between the index fingers and the middle fingers. Get to the top of the wrist, move around the wrist, and push down, massage. On the thumb, on the outside, move around, fits in, push in, and massage. And then on the same side, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Now you notice that we left out the thumb. Okay, so now we're going to work on the thumb. But before we work on the thumb, you open up the thumb and the index fingers. There's a valley, right? On that edge of the valley, right along the index fingers, is actually a very important part. So you take your thumb and you just kind of massage that part. And then now you massage your entire thumb. And then you notice that if you just look at the thumb, it looks like a drumstick. Well, there's this part here that's very important. So you take your index finger and your thumb and you form like a pincher, and you kind of pinch this part. Okay. Now, same thing on the other side. Open it up on the index fingers, massage this part right here, and then massage the thumb, and then pinch the thumb. All right. So if you have any kind of pain in the hand, in the finger, in the wrist, these are the energy points you want to work on. So very simple saying, for thousands of years, the Chinese believe very simple correlation. If you have pain, it means that your qi is blocked. If you have no pain, that means the qi is clear, right? Where does the pain come from? The pain comes from chronic inflammation. So in other words, is that if your energy channels are clear, no inflammation. If you have inflammation, especially chronic inflammation, then your qi is blocked. And how do you know you have internal chronic inflammation? Well, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. Those are very obvious. Dementia, right? Any kind of skin disease, any kind of autoimmune disease, these are all chronic inflammation, something that we really have to pay attention to. All right. Okay. So now we're done with the thumb. One more thing, we're going to use a knuckle and kind of drill into this part. And same thing, drill into this part. Now we're going to get to the center of a palm, and we're going to drill into that. And then we're going to drill into that. And then we're going to put the center of the palm together. This is a healing hand now. And so kind of rub that together. Rub that together. And now we're going to put the right hand on top of the left hand. We're going to massage both the inside of the palm and the back of the hand, as well as in between the fingers. So we're going to squeeze the fingers a little bit and just kind of massage. Now, all of you, ask yourself, do you feel warm right now? The entire body is warm, right? Just because we work on the fingers, we actually improve our circulation and our entire body is warm. Okay, now we're going to get ready to do some finger exercise. We have 2 finger exercise. The first one is a very simple one, and it energizes by using the fingers. It energizes the entire body. The reason it works like that is that the 5 fingers actually represent the 5 elements: the water, the vegetation, the fire, the soil, and the mineral. And our 5 internal organs, the water is the kidney, the vegetation is the liver, the fire is the heart, the soil is the splint, and then the mineral is the lung, right? That's how the Chinese for thousands of years view the balance of energy inside. And so by working on the fingers, it actually creates that harmony inside of us. So it's a very simple exercise, but it comes back to the spine again. Let's focus on the bottom of spine. Let's stretch your spine. Let's lift up our shoulder, lean back, open the shoulder, and then relax. Now close your eyes and focus on your fingers, especially the center of your palm. Let's bring up the hand. And then now let's focus on the thumb. Let's take the thumb and the index fingers. We put that together. And then we squeeze as hard as we can. Then the thumb and the middle finger, and we squeeze as hard as we can. And then the thumb and the index, the ring fingers, and we squeeze as hard as we can. And then the small fingers, and we squeeze as hard as we can. Now we take the thumb, we put back in the index finger, and we squeeze one more time. In the middle of the middle fingers, and we squeeze one more time. And the middle of the ring finger, and we squeeze one more time. And the middle of the small fingers, and we squeeze one more time. So this is that simple. Now we bring down our hand, come once again back to our shoulder, lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, relax the shoulder, relax upper body. Now the second exercise involves the separation of the left brain and the right brain. And so the exercise that we do, whether we do it today or next week or the week after, how we alternate, basically centers around 4 different kind of exercise. Now 3 of them are very well known in the West: stretching, muscle building, and then finally cardio. Very obvious. But in order to maintain good health as you age, there's one more exercise that is even more important than the 3, which is balance. Balance. And I talk about many times how when I look back at my father who died from dementia, it wasn't the memory or the large or everything else. It was just loss of balance, right? As I look back, he lost the balance when he walked. He lost the use of his fingers because you use the fingers actually require the separation of the left brain and the right brain, and even his temperament has changed. His whole personality has changed. Again, one side is logical, one side is emotional. A lot of that comes back to balance, separation of the left brain and right brain. So this next exercise kind of work on that, combining the finger and the separation of the 2 sides of the brain. So once again, lift up a shoulder, lean back, open, relax, and then now close your eyes. Focus on the right hand, focus on the center of your palm, bring up your right hand. Now we're going to bring in those fingers one at a time using a left brain. So first we're going to bring in the thumb, then 2 fingers, now the index, and then the little fingers. We're going to put down a right fist, bring up a left fist, switching from the left brain to the right brain. Once again, we're going to bring in the fingers, thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. We're going to bring up 2 fists and then squeeze as hard as we can. Leave the right fist, open the fingers in the reverse order. Little fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. Put down the right hand, bring up the left hand, little fingers, index, 2 fingers, thumb. And now we're going to stretch as hard as we can. At this point, we're going to say to ourselves, I just did one, now I'm ready for the second time. Thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. Right hand, left hand, thumb, 2 fingers, index, little fingers. Squeeze as hard as we can. Open up the right fist, small fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Left fist, small fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Stretch as hard as we can. Again, say to ourselves, we did 2 times. Now we're ready for the last time. Thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Thumb, two fingers, index, little fingers. Squeeze as hard as we can. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. Little fingers, index, two fingers, thumb. And then stretch as hard as we can. Now we're going to put the palm together and then touching the fingers. We're going to push as hard as we can. And then we're going to lift up our elbow. And then without making sure that the center of your palm is still touching, we're going to push down our hands, putting some pressure on the wrists. Now we're going to come back and going to do the next modality, which is tapping. Now at this point, it's very important that you kind of stretch your fingers so you can feel the vibration as you tap. You put the fingers together, you sit up straight, and you count as you go, right? So that allows, that basically ensure that your mind is on your fingers and not somewhere else, okay? Get ready, go. Okay, now cross your fingers. We're going to tap the inside of the fingers. Again, sit up straight, count as you go. Get ready, go. Okay, now we're going to tap the inside, and along the small fingers is the meridian that we name after the heart. Along the thumb is the meridian that we name after the lung. Now we're going to put the fists together, forming a V, so it's the meat part, right? No bones. Get ready, go. Now we're going to flip it around using the meat part of the thumb, again forming a V facing down. Get ready, go. Okay, now this is the inside, so the yin side. Yin is the absence of the sun. Now we're going to work on the yang side. And yang side, this meridian, the corresponding meridian is the one that we name after the small intestine. And then the thumb is the one that we name after the large intestine. It's kind of interesting that the heart, now, first of all, the heart, the Chinese, they don't distinguish between the heart and the mind. They believe that they're connected. And the mind is opposite of the small intestines. That's kind of interesting. And I talk about this many times, that there are studies coming out that Parkinson is related to digestive health. Ooh, that's scary. Huh. All right, interesting thought. Okay, so this energy point is on the edge of the palm, so it is facing the sun. And so you bring down your fingers, you see this line that goes across, it's right at the edge. So sit up straight, put your palm together, flat, roll up your fingers, and just tap that 30 times. Go. Okay, now this is small intestines. Now let's go to the large intestine. Large intestine is very simple. It's just right at the valley. That's why I call it the emerging valley. And so let's just do this simple things once, and then just put this energy point on top of this. Get ready, go. And then the other side. Okay, now we're going to do some acupressure. Okay, now there are two energy points that are particularly important. One is this merging valley again. So this is part of the large intestine. It's a yang energy point. So what we call yang is always clearing the qi. So it reduces inflammation, reduce pain. This discipline is particularly well known for its ability to relieve pain. Right? Now, how do we do acupressure here? So again, you open up, you see this web, right? you take your thumb, you see this line, right? So you put the line on touching the web, then the thumb comes down. The important part is that you got to take your right hand, put it outside of the left hand, and you press down, right? Oh, that little hurts a little bit, huh? Now make sure that you don't use your fingernail, okay? So whenever you have pain, right? Whenever you have pain, this one will help relieve some of the pain. Of course, it's only temporary, right? Now do the same thing on the other side, and then put your left hand outside of the right hand and press down. Okay, so this is a very good point. Another one is right along the middle fingers and 3 fingers from the wrist, and put your thumb right here. Put your hands in the back and just kind of push down. And then same thing on the other side, push down. So this one is well known. This is part of the pericardium, which is the outside of the lung, or the muscles outside the heart. Sorry. And so this one is well known for relieving some discomfort, where you feel like, oh, I don't know what's going on, or people who have irregular heartbeats. This is a good one. Okay, let me introduce some more. So this one right here at the bend, this is well known for reducing your high blood pressure. And then over here, okay. The one that I like is if you stretch out your hand, you find the bone, and then from this corner, you measure 3 fingers, and then on the outside of the bone, you press down. And this one I use a lot if I just twist my back. So same thing over here. Okay, all right. So we're now ready for this next thing that we do. It's called scraping. Now, this one I recommend that you learn how to do, and you try to do that at least once a day, especially before you sleep. It really helps. It clears the energy. So, especially if you have carpal tunnel, right? And it just helps you improve the quality of your sleep. Okay. Now, it's very simple. You take something like this. You can go up to Amazon and search for guasa, Guasa, 2 words, right? Or you can get a ruler, or you can, someone mentioned, very smart, using the cap of a jar, right? Okay, so now you take something, or just use the knuckle, come on. that's a good one. Okay, so you take whatever it is that you have. We want to work on the inside. We're going to work on the center line, but be sure that you go from the elbow to the wrist, okay? You take your scraping tool and you just kind of scrape. Now, you have to kind of find that the right balance, okay? Right balance, meaning that you don't want to be too hard. You're not trying to hurt yourself, right? And you just use the right effort so it feels a little bit of pain, but then it's a very nice pain. Okay? Now, we're going to move up all the way up to the bone, but back down. So on the inside of the, again, from the elbow all the way to the wrist, and then along the bone. Now, there's a lot of study right now on why that is effective. Why that is effective, especially in relieving pain, kind of pain that is hard to describe. And when you go to the doctor, he just say, "Oh, take some Advil." They always say that. Okay, now I just did the outside of the bone, right? I didn't say anything, but I just did the outside of the bone. Okay, the center part of the back of your arm. This is the triple walnut. And then on the outside, along the small fingers. Okay. All right. Now in the back of the hand, fingers. Okay, now back to the small fingers. In the middle, outside the bone, on top of the bone, inside the bone, in the middle. And this is the part that is important if you want to improve the quality of your sleep. Right along the index, the small fingers, about 4 inches right there. And then all the way back to the elbow. Okay. Claude says nice pain. All right. Yeah, it is nice pain. Okay, so now on this side, again, you have to find the right balance. Okay, you don't want to hurt yourself, especially if you say, "Well, I have skin disease." Well, no, don't do it. Right? Don't do it. Okay, now on top of the bone, outside the bone, in the middle of the arm, on the outside along the small fingers, the back of the hand. Now, this is particularly good if you have arthritis. Okay, and again, be careful, right? Be careful. And then just kind of rotate your arms, and then now along the small fingers, and then all the way back, right? So when you have arthritis, your fingers are crooked. So right now I'm actually pretty good. My hands are not crooked. The only one that is really crooked is this one. And sometimes you get a little blister. I don't know what it is. You get some, it comes out from the joints and it's very painful, right? So if you just have that kind of thing, just avoid the part that is very painful and just kind of work around it. This really helps, right? So I've been talking about a class that I have on Sunday now, a in-person class in Oakland, California. No class tomorrow, Mother's Day. And then we actually have a special class on Monday with around 14 students who works in the community, but are all formerly incarcerated. So it'll be kind of interesting. And not sure if anybody's paying attention. I changed the name of the class slightly, in a way going back to the original title, talking about Chi therapy. And the reason for that is that these students, actually all of us, not just these students, all of us are have a lot of trauma in the past, right? And the trauma leaves behind if it's emotional trauma, it can leave behind physical trauma and vice versa. So when you deal with emotional trauma, it's important not to ignore the physical trauma as well. And so the idea of working both your physical existence and your spiritual and your mental existence as a holistic system is very, very important. And that's what we're trying to do is we work on the body, we work on the mind, we work on the emotion, right? Trying to find harmony in all of that, right? Okay, so so on Sunday class, I don't have enough of these, right? So I told you about this, right? This is like 100-year-old. This is part of my mother's, no, yeah, my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, who passed away. This is part of her dowry. So I don't have enough of this. So what I did was I went to Amazon and I just bought a bunch of wooden ruler. And if you buy enough quantity, they're basically like 25 cents each. I have them. I don't want to go out and get it. It takes a while. And I just took the ruler and I wrap it with masking tape. Yeah, you could try it. You can try it. It works really well. Okay. All right. So now we come to the next exercise. Next exercise really is important if you have carpal tunnel. All right. So once again, come focus on the shoulder, lift up a shoulder, and then open up a shoulder, lean back, and then relax. Now let's try to push back a forehead so the ears on top of the shoulder, tuck in the chin so the top of the head is on top of your spine. And let's focus on the center of a palm, left hand and right hand. And let's bring that in front of us, fingers pointing towards the camera. Now we're going to roll up the four fingers. We're going to lock it with the thumb. We're going to wind up those four fingers as if they're a spring. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to continue. You notice that we're working from the fingertips. Now we're going to move to the shoulder. And so once again, lift up a shoulder, open that shoulder, relax. Now let's take a hand. We're going to form what's called a lotus hand, which means that we take our middle fingers and our thumb together and we're going to stretch out the other three. Now we're going to put this lotus hand in front of a shoulder. We're going to open up the shoulder. There's an energy point here called gate to the cloud. Okay. Now the back of the hand is facing the camera. If you could push out your hip and lean back so you feel some pressure in the back of your lower back. Okay, now get ready. Back of the hand facing the camera. 1, back of the hand facing the camera. Come back, lotus hand, open up your shoulder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now we're working towards the top of the head. So now we're going to work on the back of our neck. This is actually literally the bottleneck for our energy. So we're going to sit up straight, open the shoulder, lean back, relax, lift, lean back, our forehead, tuck in the chin. I'm going to take a hand, use the thumb, come down on two sides of the neck, and you find this cavity. Very easy to find. This is called a pond of wind. Wind is the way that the Chinese describe nerve, right? So you take your thumb, you kind of massage those 2 points. And then now you take your thumb, not the fingernail, and you push down as if you're squeezing a water hose. You lean back, put some counter pressure, hold it, and then relax. Now take your right hand, use 4 fingers, press down on the left, and then grab the left side of the neck and just kind of pull it towards the right very gently. And then do the same thing on the other side. Sit up straight, looking straight ahead, push down with the 4 fingers, grab the right side of the neck and kind of pull it to the left. Now you take your left ear, you lift it up, you use the right fingers and you massage the cavity that are below the ear, which happens to be the beginning of your vagus nerve. So if you go on Amazon and you say, how do I exercise the vagus nerve, they will find all kinds of toys that you can wrap around the neck. Now, all I want you to do now is just kind of massage across, but it's important that you whisper to yourself and say, relax, relax, relax. Okay, now do the other side. Lift up the right ear, massage right below, and then again, say to yourself, relax, relax, relax. Okay, now take the left ear, push down the tip, the top, massage this corner, and then just again do the same thing along the bone. Massage, relax, relax, relax. Now do the other side. And then come down, relax, relax, relax. Okay, now take your thumb, massage the corner, and then go towards the cavity, but stop in the middle and then massage. Now, feel a lot of stress here. Okay, now you come back to the cavity and you just kind of squeeze that, and then get to the middle and squeeze that, and go all the way to the back and squeeze that. And now use your thumb on the right, you lean to the left and you massage your neck with your thumb. Same thing on the other side. And come back and just massage the neck all the way down. All the way down. And don't forget this part. There's a lot of stress here. Okay? All right. Okay, now we're going to learn to massage the left side of the neck. First, we're going to look straight ahead. Then we're going to turn the head to the right. And we're going to look down. And now we're going to use the index finger, use the edge, and you see this tendon here, and just kind of massage that. Now you look straight ahead, you lift up and massage this part. And then now you massage the top. And again, if you have a lot of shoulder pain, you work around the shoulder and just kind of massage these cavities now. So there's a top, and this is called a well on the shoulder. And you're going to massage that. And then go back. There's another cavity right here. Massage. And go around and around. And then right in the middle or in the front. Okay? And then massage the shoulder. So there's a particular form of massage, very popular, called fascia massage. They don't actually massage the muscle. They massage in between the muscle. And fascia means connective tissue. But fascia, the word fascia comes from myofascia, which means the muscle, right? The connective tissue of the muscle. Whereas the Chinese, when they talk about connective tissue, is not just the muscle, it's in between the organ, it's everywhere, right? In fact, you may argue that our very first organ is not the heart, it's not the lung, it's not the kidney, it's not none of that, it's connective tissue. When the sperm meets the egg actually makes a selection, right? And says, not you, not you, not you, yeah, you. And that's all done by the interface between the membrane. And then they merge, become one, and then they split. And that all that communication is done to the membrane. And so it makes sense that the Chinese are coming back to the membrane as the most important organ. It's just fully distributed in the body. All right. So now let's work on the right side. And again, look so straight ahead, turn to the left, look down, use your left hand, and just scrape this tendon. Look straight ahead, look up, work on the shoulder, cavity, 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 and then in the front cavity. Okay? And massage all the way around. Okay? See, now we're doing a full body massage, huh? So every hour and every Saturday, we're just giving ourselves an hour and a half worth of quality time, right? This is all about me or you, right? All right, so now we'll come to the face, okay? All right, so again, come back to the healing hand. Massage, healing hand. Now, take your left hand, form an empty hand, put that in front of your eye. Take the right hand, form an empty hand, put that in front of the right eye. Sit up straight, open your eyes, and you should see darkness, but if you don't, you see light. Move around the fingers so you don't see light. Okay, get ready. First time. Put that in front of your eye. Don't press down, okay? Just make sure you have cavity. And now open your eyes and see nothing but darkness. Second time. Actually, what you see is infrared. Now put that in front of your eye. All right? You feel warm. The eye is adjusting to the infrared. One last time. Put that in front of your eye. All right. Now massage the forehead down on both sides of the nose, all the way down to the chin. And massage. Now massage the side of the face. Put the healing hand on top of your temple. Use your fingers, massage in between the eyebrow and move up. Wow, there's a lot of stress here. A little bit by little, little by little, until you get to the top of your forehead. Okay, now use your index fingers, massage above the eyebrow. And then on the beginning of the eyebrow. And then massage your forehead and go up to the top of your head, the back of your head, the lower part, and then the neck. And then massage above the ear. Using this part, Make good use of that part. Oh, I gotta get a haircut today. Okay, all right. Okay, so now come back to the fingers. Grab each of the fingers and really massage it. Now do the right side. Okay, get your fingers all warm and then use that to massage the around the eyes. Okay, so there's 3 energy points here, 3 energy points here. So let's take the index finger, put that at the beginning of the eyebrow, push down. You can feel a cavity. All right, now use your neck, provide some counter pressure, and just hold it. And then now put the index finger in between the eyebrow and just kind of massage your eyebrow. There's 3 energy points there. So we're not only massaging the energy point, we're squeezing the tubes, the oil tubes, so our eyes doesn't get so dry as we age. And now we use the thumb and put that at the corner of your eye and massage below the eye bag. And then the other side. Okay, now use the index finger, put that at the corner of your eye, right? So you're not really pushing on the eye, you just kind of push at the corner of the eye, which is really like half and half, half on the corner, half on the nose. Now, we're gonna just apply some pressure, okay? Now we're gonna do some eye yoga. And so close your eye and rotate your eyeballs up as if you're looking at the ceiling. Rotate it to the right as you're looking very far. Rotate it down as if you're looking at the floor. And then now back to the left. Come back to the top. We're going to do clockwise. Okay, get ready. Top, right, down, left. Top, right, down, left. Top, right, down, left. Come back to top. We're going to do counterclockwise. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Left, down, right, up. Open your eyes, right? Very bright. Okay, so that's called the bright eye. The energy point is called the bright eye. Now take two index fingers, two fingers, and just massage all the way down to the chin. And then massage. Okay, now use the index finger, put that below the eye bag. Put that along the on the both sides of the nose, come down, you feel the bone, and then all of a sudden there's no more bone, right? Now push it with your thumb, with your index finger, and then push up. And relax. Okay, that's for your sinus. Now massage. This is called the center of being. This is actually where the two primary channel meets. The one called the guardian, and then yang, and then yin. Okay. Now this, pay attention to this. We're going to put the tongue behind that when we meditate. Now we're going to massage on the neck. Okay, so now we come to the ears. Okay. Now the ears we separate into three parts. We put the thumb on the upper part, four fingers in the back, massage, middle, and then put the index finger below the thumb in the back, massage. We're going to massage the tip, yank, massage the edge, massage the ear loop, yank. Put the thumb behind the ear loop, the index finger outside the ear, and then massage. Now we're going to massage the back of the ear. Take your thumb and just kind of massage the back. Take your fingers, massage the corner, and come down one finger on the ear, one finger on the skull until you get to the very bottom. Same thing on the other side. And then on the outside. And then top all the way to the bottom. Okay, going to do one more called drumming the ear. Going to take two hands, put that behind the ear, close your ear, stretch, and then go 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. So now we're ready for the top of the head. Top of the head is very important. This energy point right here is very, very important. Okay, so before we do anything, let's just lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, relax. Lean back our forehead, tuck in the chin. Take all 10 fingers, put that on top. Okay, get ready, go. Okay, now we're going to work towards the bottom of the feet. First, we're going to tap on here. This is what we call the well on the shoulders, part of the gallbladder meridian. So again, lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, relax, turn the head to the right. Bring up the right hand, empty hand, fingers on top, palm in front. Listen with your left ear. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now once again, lift up our shoulder, lean back, relax, turn our head to the left, bring out our left hand, empty hand, fingers on top, palm in front. Listen with the right ear. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now we're going to work on cavities. There are 8 cavities that are called longevity cavities, 4 on the upper torso, 4 below our waist. The first one is here and here. Okay, now these cavities are closest to the internal organs. They're the warmest part of the body. And so we're going to work on this one first as part of the heart or the mind meridian. This muscle is actually quite important. Okay, and we're going to be doing that later on, stretching this part, right? So muscle building is a very important part of our maintaining our health as we age. So we're going to focus on the elbow, put the elbow on top of the head, looking straight ahead. So we are stretching this muscle. Now we're going to grab the upper part of our right ear, turn the head to the right, lift up our right hand, empty hand, put that on the armpit, listen with your left ear. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. And then now on the right side, put that on top, looking straight ahead. So you're stretching this part. Now pinch the left side, left ear, and then turn your head to the left. Empty hand, put that on the right side. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now on to the next two. Lock the elbow, right hand, empty hand, wrap it around. So fingers on top, palm on the side. Lift it up. Turn your head to the right. Listen with the left ear. Lock your elbow. Remember now, okay? Get ready. Go. Wake up. Continue. The other side. Lock your elbow. Empty hand. Right ear. Listen. Get ready. Go. Continue. Okay, now we're ready to move towards the bottom half of our body, the lower part of our body. We're going to do the same until we get to the bottom of our feet, okay? Let's see here. Okay. Now, we're going to work on that in pairs. So we're going to work on the splint stomach pair. So this is actually a very important energy point. So if you find the knee on the inside, you measure 3 fingers and you push down. Okay, so this is called the sea of blood. It's actually that energy point that clears your blood, remove toxins from your blood. And so it is known to help with cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol, it's because you have inflammation. Remember that now, huh? It's not because of cholesterol. You need cholesterol. 80% of your brain is cholesterol. So there's been a study that shows high HDL actually is correlated with dementia. Huh? What is HDL? HDL, a high density lipoprotein, is a protein, is a carrier to carry the cholesterol away from the rest of your body back to the liver. And so turns out that if you have too much of that, you might think that is a good thing. From as far as the brain is concerned, it's not so good. All right, so let's work on this. What we really want to do is just reduce inflammation in a blood vessel. Okay, now get ready, go. Now we're going to close the knee. Now we're going to work on the meridian that is part of the stomach. And so first you put that, you find this too. Now, if you have a knee, if your knee hurts, this is a good energy point to massage, okay? And right here. Find that cavity, okay? Like that, okay? All right. Now we go down from here, 4 fingers. You find the bone on the outside of the bone. Get ready? Go. Okay, I talk about indigestion, right, as being something that you want to avoid because that's yang deficiency. This one helps with indigestion. Now go 4 fingers down, find the bone on the outside of the bone. This one kind of work together with this. Again, known for reducing inflammation in your blood vessel and therefore cholesterol. Get it ready? Go. Okay, all right. Now we're going to work on the liver, gallbladder pillar. Liver is here. Right? Actually, it starts at the toe. We'll come back to that. Right in the middle. Get ready. Go. Okay, now close your knee. 2 energy points. Okay, get ready. Go. Second one. Okay, now below the knee, there's 3. This one, you put your fingers here, you come up. I can't go anymore. That's the one. Okay, now this actually is a very important energy point. It improves your immune system. You ready? Go. And then in the middle, get ready? Go. And then all the way down to the ankle, there's your 4 fingers up. Get ready? Go. Okay, all right, there's one more energy point. It's very important. It's right below the calf, right below the calf. So your calf is actually your second heart, right? That's known by the Western scientists, medical scientists. And so you don't want that to decay. Now, I talk about the importance of muscle. I talk about how our exercise also involve the conditioning of muscle. So when we do Yi Jin Jing, we stand, that's for that, right? So when you stand, you try not to lock on your knee, so you're using this muscle. There's an energy point right below the calf. You put that on the left knee, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And then you tap that 30 times. I'll do that the other one. Okay, so now we got to the toes. Finally, after 1 exact hour, we got to the toes. So we're going to work on the toes by opening each of the toe. And we're going to use the edge of a thumb and just going to massage that. Remember we were massaging the back of a hand? Same thing. And now these are the, each one of them correspond to one meridian. This one corresponds to the one we name after the liver, the one we name after the stomach, the name we name after gallbladder, and the way we name after the bladder. And then come back. Okay, now we're going to pay special focus attention to this one because it's the liver. And so we're going to massage in between the toes and going to massage the entire length. And then before the bones join together, we're going to do some acupressure. And then once again. Okay, now we're going to rotate the hands back, a foot back. Okay, now you push back your thumb. You see this tendon? Scrape on that. This is a longevity tendon. Now relax, scrape the bottom of your feet, scrape the heel, scrape the ball area, and then massage the toes one at a time. And then put your fingers in between the toes. And now a very important part is the arch. So we're gonna, this arch, we're gonna massage the entire length of the arch. And then we're going to massage a section that's below this piece of bone and a section that's below the ankle. And once again, massage entire length of the arch. Now we're going to come back to the angle, go towards the Achilles heel. There's a cavity here. It's very important. And then 4 fingers behind the bone, another very important cavity. And then we're going to scrape between the two. And then we're going to scrape the entirety of the part that is in between the calf and the bone. Now we're going to come back to this very important point called the gushing springs. First, we're going to massage it with our thumb. And we're going to kind of cut it with our palm. And then we're going to push back the toes, form empty hand. We're going to tap the bottom of our feet. Now, this one is water. This one is fire. We're mixing water and fire. Very, very, very well-known technique for longevity. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, now we're going to work on the right foot. Again, in between the toes. One at a time. Come back. And then open up the toes, massage in between, massage along the channel. And then before the bones joined, do acupressure. Massage again. Okay, flip. And then bend back the toes, massage the tendon. Relax, massage the bottom of your feet. Massage the heel. Scrape the ball area. Massage the toes one at a time. Massage in between the toes. And then massage the arch, the entirety of the arch. Come back, focus right below the bone. Come back, focus right below the ankle. And then massage entirety of the arch. Come back, behind the angle, acupressure. 4 fingers behind the bone, acupressure. Scrape between them. And then scrape the entirety of your lower leg, inside of the lower leg. And then come back to the bottom of your feet. First massage with your thumb. Then kind of cut it with your edge of your palm. Roll back the fingers, form empty hand. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, all right. Okay, now we're ready for the floor exercise. Let me return the camera. Okay, all right. First, we're going to massage the back, the lower back. That's where the kidney and the adrenal glands are. So if you use your fingers, you wrap around your waist where the fingers are, and just kind of massage that. And many of you have so much stress, never knew how to relax, never knew how to go back to the rest and digest mode. And so we develop what's called the adrenal fatigue, right? So what happens is that when you move around, you get lightheaded because the adrenal gland doesn't work anymore or doesn't react as fast, doesn't know how to adjust to your change of gravity, center of gravity. And so you want to kind of take care of that, all right? Okay, now we're going to do some stretching. This time we stretch the back. So this time I want you to lock your knee. Look straight ahead and then just kind of go down very gently, stretching the back of your leg. Ooh, that hurts. And then come back. Second time. Now it helps if you look straight ahead, okay? It helps if you you follow, your head is straight, looking straight ahead, okay? Now, longevity cavity, there's 4 on the lower part of the body. This is one. Now, this one actually helps with your kidney deficiency. I'm talking about the kidney energy. And so if you have kind of lower back problem, right, this one actually helps. Now, loosen up your knee, put fingers in behind, thumbs on the side, looking straight ahead. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, now one thing that is in the last two cavities right here. So as we age, we tend to forget about our reproductive organs. We're thinking that we don't need it anymore. They're obsolete. Not true. They are the center of life. Has been, and will always be. So you want to massage this part and try to think about, we'll try to incorporate this into your sleeping routine, okay? So when you get to bed, after you take a shower, after you dry off, after you blow dry with the, or after you get your body all dry with a blow dryer, especially work on these cavities. So the one thing I recommend is that these longevity cavity, use your blow dryer like this, right? Dry it out, and then dry out all this part, and then when you lie down on your bed, do some massage here. All right, so we're gonna put a fist right between, okay? Get ready, go. Okay, now we're gonna do this exercise. This is a very, actually very strenuous exercise, okay? And it's hard to do this when you're already past the point of no return. When your body deteriorates to a point where you think you need it, it's too late. You don't have the strength anymore. So it's kind of lucky that we get to do this early enough. Now, this is coming in 14 forms. It's very strenuous and energetic, which means that in order to maintain that harmony after each move, we have to come back to rest and digest and focus on the breath for at least 2 breaths. Okay, remember that. All right, so now let's focus on the bottom of your feet. Remember, the bottom of the feet is the gushing spring. The idea is that we want to form that link between heaven and earth so that all the energies in the universe pass through us. So we do that first by touching the bottom of the feet to the floor, and then we rotate the toes inward. We slightly loosening up the knees so we activate our second heart. Then we open up the shoulder, open up this mineral element, aligning the well with the spring. Then we lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin so that this energy point where all the yang energy come together is actually on the top of our spine. Then we focus on this energy point called chamber of the labor, chamber of labor, which is a healing hand. We point that towards the ground and we bring it in slightly so that they're on both sides of your spine. Now looking straight ahead, close your eye, focus on the center of your palm, focus on your breath. Notice that you're breathing in, and then notice that you're breathing out. And as you breathe out, you focus on the center of your palm, mind, body together, and you push, okay? So now you're going to hear me say go. That's not for you to go. That's for you to start this process and you go on your own, okay? I do the same. Get ready, go. Back to the breath. Very important to maintain that yin-yang harmony. As much you spend on fight or flight, you need to come back to rest and digest. 1 breath, 2 breaths. Okay, get ready. Second time, again, go back to all your energy points. Focus on the center of your palm. Focus on your breath, breathing in, and then breathing out. Get ready? Go. Back to the breath. Okay, this sends a shock wave through your spine. Get ready? Go. Back to the breath. Okay, so basically you're unleashing your self-healing power. The energetic part is when the body thinks that you're under attack, so it puts out stress hormone. The most important stress hormone is cortisol, which is a steroid, reduce inflammation. Then you come back to your breath to restore the sensitivity to the cortisol. The problem we have is that we develop what's called cortisol resistance, right? We lost our self-healing power. That's it. It's that simple. All right. So once again, second is called pointing. So you take your thumb, you focus on your thumb, and you point to your hip. You roll up your four fingers, and you imagine that someone have hang 2 buckets of water on your thumb, and you lift up your thumb as if you're lifting up the 2 buckets of water, energizing your large intestine meridian. And then you relax without lowering the fingers. Back to the breath. Second time, lift that up as hard as you can, and then relax without lowering your hand. One last time, and then relax. Lower your hand this time. Completely relax. Focus on your breath. Okay, the next one is now you lift up your hand, you put your thumb across, it's called the beginner's mind, and then you rub your 4 fingers, and you squeeze your fist like the baby squeezed the fist, and then you relax without lowering your hand, focusing on your breath. Second time, squeeze as hard as you can, and then relax. Now this one is actually cardio. You're working against your heart. One last time, squeeze as hard as you can, and then lower your hand, completely relax. Now we're going to take a deep breath. We're putting the fists together, put it in front of your belly button, and follow the fist as you breathe in. And then relax. Now you bring your elbows together. You focus on your back. The back is the large intestine meridian. And you stretch your back as if you're trying to crack open the back. And then relax. Back to the breath. Second time. And then relax. One last time. And then relax. The next one's called fist on top of the head. So you put that on top of your head. You open your shoulder. You open your fist. You roll your fingers one joint, 2 joints. You lock it with your thumb, and you squeeze, working against the heart. Right? When you go take blood sample, the nurse always says, squeeze your fist, because they want you to energize the heart. Back to the breath. One breath at a time. Okay, open your shoulder again. Roll your fist and squeeze. And then open your fist and relax. One last time, open your shoulder, squeeze, and then relax. Next one was stabbing the shoulder. So first grab 2 daggers. Open up your shoulder. Point the dagger onto your shoulder, the well on the shoulder, remember? Okay, now look straight ahead and stab. You feel the tightness behind your back and neck where we were massaging? Yeah, the palm of wind. Okay. And then you go relax. One breath. 2 breaths. Now, once again, open the shoulder, stab. And then relax. One more time, open the shoulder, grab the dagger, point the dagger on your shoulder and stab. And then relax. Now the next one is called the cross, but what you're really doing is stretching what's called the triple warmer. There's no Western equivalent. Triple warmer means that it talks about the entirety of internal organs. Triple means that there's 3 compartments: above the diaphragm, below the diaphragm, right? Below the belly button, right? So you make a cross. Imagine there are 2 trees on the side that you're touching already. And then you roll your wrists And then you roll your fist, you take a deep breath, and you hold your breath and you push as hard as you can, stretching the upper part of your arm, and you go, relax. Second time, lift up your hand, roll your wrist, roll your fist, take a deep breath, hold your breath, and push. Relax. Now you hear I said bang, right? Bang means avalanche. You push it so hard that you're causing an avalanche. One last time. I told you it's very energetic, very strenuous, right? Okay, now front hanging, same thing, and lock your elbow as if you're hanging close on your arm. The tree in front. Wrist, fist. Take a deep breath. Hold your breath and push. Second time, lift up your hand. One last time. Now we're going to do chin up. Look up, see the bar, grab the bar, and just pull yourself up. And then relax. This is for this muscle. After 2 breaths, second time, grab the bar, pull yourself up, and then relax. One last time. And then relax. Open your fingers, okay? Relax. Okay, now next one is called opening the bowl, right? So you grab the bowl, like in bow and arrow, one left, one right, and then you open them. Again, it's for muscle. And then relax. One last time, second time. And then relax. One last time. And then relax. Okay, now you collect all your slivers and you swallow. Now, the next one is actually quite important. So first, check your knee. Make sure you don't lock your knee, right? Loosening your knee is going to maintain that until you get to the end. Then you straighten up your back. Very important, you straighten up your back. Back of the hand touching. And you lower all the way down. And you lock your elbow, you're looking straight down. And you form a fist. Back of the hand touching, first time. Second time. One last time. Now you flip your hand, you follow the center of your palm, you take a deep breath. And then breathe out. Breathe in. And see that big rock in front of you, you go push. And then breathe in. Breathe out. You come back to your sitting position. Now, in modern days, everything that we do here is called Qigong. Qi means life energy, Gong means the practice of life energy. Traditionally, for thousands of years, it's called Tao Yan. Because it's not about the Qi, it's not about the body, it's about the body, the Qi, and the mind. And so what we want to do now is position ourselves so that we can train our mind as well, using the Qi as a bridge between the mind and the body. So as you just sit down and you do this very energetic exercise, very strenuous exercise, you feel a lot of tingling in your body, a lot of different sensations going around. You feel like there are energies in your body bouncing off the wall. What we're going to do is we're going to do Tao. People think of Tao as the path. This is the same word. Well, this is a similar word, but it means the guide. So we're going to guide our energies in the body. We're going to collect all of them into our lower element, what we call the Dan Ten, the field of fire. So I want you to focus on your body. It's very easy now to observe your breath. You're huffing and puffing. I want you to first say, I know that I'm breathing in, knowing. I know that I'm breathing out. Now I want you to anchor your mind on your belly button. When you know that you're breathing in, I want you to open that stomach, guide the belly button towards the front. And when you're breathing out, I want you to guide your belly button towards the back. So what you're doing now is that as you breathe in, you open your stomach, you lower your diaphragm. As you breathe out, you collapse your stomach, you're lifting up your diaphragm. The diaphragm is in fact the most important connective tissue of all. And by doing that, you're guiding your energy into your dantian. You're guiding the yang energy when you breathe in. You're guiding your qi energy when you breathe out. So let's just sit for 3 minutes and just kind of contemplating on your breath, breathing in, breathing out, opening your stomach when you breathe in, collapsing the stomach when you breathe out. 3 minutes, okay? Focusing entirely on your breath. Now, of course, that's never going to happen, right? Your mind is a monkey mind, so every chance she has, she's going to leave that body, leave that breath, and she's going to hide somewhere, just like my cat. But there's only 2 places where she could go. One is in the past, one is in the future, so it's not that hard to find. So when you find that your mind is not on your breath, it's most likely in the past. You're thinking about things that happened this morning, things that happened yesterday. So all you have to do is go to them and invite her to come back, and you say, let's just come back, focus on my breathing, only one breath at a time. And if you find her in the future thinking about what's going to happen after class, what's going to happen in the afternoon, what's going to happen on this wonderful Saturday morning, it's even easier. And just tell her, say, we'll get to that, okay? We'll get to that. Right now, it's all about me. Just help me out here. One breath at a time. These days, it's all about traveling light, huh? People talk about how they can travel light. They don't check in the luggage. Right? They just have a backpack and they put all the stuff in that backpack as if that is the way to travel light. Meditation is all about traveling light. It's how you don't want to check in any luggage. What's the point of the luggage? What's the point of baggage? So it's time to let them go. And the baggage is either in the past or in the future. So just learn to let them go. We'll come back to you. Focus on my breath right now. And one of the things that you that as you meditate on you feel a sense. Now, that was the first part, is just guiding the breath, guiding the energies into your dantian. Now we're going to do the second part, which is that we're separating the yang energy from the yin energy and vice versa. So now, before we do anything, I want you to come back to the body and stretch your spine, lift up your shoulder, lean back and relax. Lean back your forehead, tuck in your chin. Close your eye, but don't shut it. Just relax your eyelid and then put the tip of the tongue behind here, right behind the teeth, where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. Now you come back to the lower part of your spine. Again, you focus on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. As you breathe in, you start at the bottom of your spine. You walk up the spine towards the top of the head. You stretch your spine until you get to the top of the head. And then as you breathe out, you lean back as far as you can. You relax. And you go from the top of the head to the forehead, to the nose, through your tongue, and back to your belly button. Breathe in, stretch to the top of your head. Breathe out, lean back, relax, come back to the belly button. Now what you're doing, you're still guiding. You're guiding your yang energy up the spine. That's called the guardian vessel. And then you're guiding it down as you breathe out from the front. So we talk about the 12 meridians. There's in fact 8 other primary channels. Most of the people only talk about 2, and I only know 2, which is the one in the back and the one in the front. The one in the back coincides with the spine. That's where all the yang energy travel until the top of the head. And then eventually it comes back down. So this is guiding. Now, if you concentrate on this practice, after a while, you will go from guiding to enticing, meaning that you're not trying to force it anymore. Instead, you take a step back and you're just enticing. It's like the coach working with the world athletes. You're just an audience now, and just watching this body and watching this breath doing what they're good at. And you just kind of let go of the breath and just let the breath comes into your body. Let the energy rise in your spine. And then the body would breathe out on its own and just let it come down. Your coaching part is done. You're now just a traveling companion. Okay, let's do 3 minutes and then we'll be in the class. Okay, open your eyes. Before we leave, I want to remind everyone that last Tuesday, I actually, for some reason, I forgot to mention it on our last class, but last Tuesday, the one that just passed, we had Venerable Bodhidhama on Insight Timer, as well as Patreon, as well as YouTube and Facebook and all that, and Zoom, right? It took me 3 years to get all these technologies to work together. And so I was able to, you notice that I was able to switch camera very easily, right? Okay, so it took a while to get all that done. And so I was so happy that I was able to bring Venerable Bodhidhama to you, right? Now we're going to do that at least once a month, okay? At least once a month. And most likely on the first Tuesday of each month. So we're going to be doing that again in June. And so a little bit about Venerable Bodhidhama. It's important to you because all your donations, and thank you, Lina, for the donation, all your donations at the end of the year will be forwarded to Venerable Bodhidhama, as well as matching fund from other students. And a little bit about Venerable Bodhidhama. He's younger than me. He's about 5 years younger than me. He just got his started his Social Security. He was actually an engineer, and he came to this country from Vietnam when he was 19 years old as a refugee. Now he's a little too old, too young to remember the war between United States and um, Vietnam, but when he was 19, there was a war between Vietnamese and the Chinese. And him being a person of Chinese heritage, it would be ironic if he were to be drafted into the Vietnamese army fighting his own countrymen. But anyway, let alone that he will die, most likely. So his mom arranged for him to escape together with his younger brother. There were 3 brothers and 3 sisters, or maybe 4 sisters, I don't remember. But and they were in this boat, and they thought that there was just going to be a few people. And it turns out that there were 200 people in this small fishing boat, and they were in the lower deck because they came first, and it was so cramped, so crowded that had they moved, they would lose their space. So they were actually in the sea. They were lucky that they were only in the sea for 7 days. In the first 3 days, they had water. They actually had a little bit of rain too. And so when they had water, the ration was 2 spoonfuls of water a day. That's how crazy it is. And then when they ran out of water, the people on the boat were actually fighting for urine. He says, well, what do you mean fighting urine? Everybody have urine. Yeah, but you don't have container. So a lady had a plastic bag, and 2 brothers, they were twins, were fighting for that plastic bag so they can drink their own urine. That's how crazy life can be. But in any case, he first, they were rescued. He was in Malaysia, then he was in Philippines, and then he was in the United States. He came to Cleveland. And he was a little too old to be in high school. He was 19, so he got his equivalency, high school equivalency. He went to Chase Western and got his bachelor degree, and then he got his master's degree in engineering. He was working as an engineer, plus 2 jobs on the side. One is dishwasher in a Chinese restaurant. And then eventually he managed to get his brothers and his siblings and his parents to come to the United States. But anyway, it's a really amazing story. And he's a monk. He's been a monk, and his whole thing is about bringing compassion and loving kindness to those who are incarcerated, not to relieve them of the physical incarceration, but to relieve them of their spiritual incarceration. And I invite him to be our teacher. So he actually comes to our class every Tuesday of the week. But one of them is in English. So look forward to him coming back, okay? And if you missed it, no problem. You know everything is recorded. And so you can find it on my Patreon, my Facebook, and YouTube, okay? So again, I just need to report to you on that because I know you're making donation and I thank you every time. And but I just want you to know that all of that will be forwarded to Bodhidhama so that he can continue his work now. And you may say, well, what does he need money for? He's a monk. Well, he needs money to buy stamp so that he can send to the inmates for them to write to him. You know, everything's very expensive. It's a scam. Everything's very expensive in the prison. A stamp that costs us less than $1 could be $5 once you're in the prison. Gas money too. And he drives 3.5 hours to basically get to the border of California and Nevada. Yeah, I'll let him talk to you about what's like. It's very inhumane. It's our incarceration system is very inhumane. You know that slavery is still legal in this country. You said that's not true. It is true. It is true. People who are incarcerated has the same right as a slave. It's in the books. Yeah, it's very bad. Okay, enough of that, okay? So thank you for your support. Thank you for being with me. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Let us all be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace. Namaste. Okay, 聽日冇堂，星期一冇堂，我星期二見你哋嚇。多謝跟師兄。OK，多謝感恩你哋，多謝你哋支持。OK，拜拜。拜拜。Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Another week, huh? All right. Be good. Okay. Bye-bye.